Okie dokie. That last song was "Wanna Be Okay" by Blind Love, and today I'm in the studio with. Oh, did you have a DJ name? You've come on before.
Yeah, it's DJ Ox, like Octagon, so OCTS.
DJ Ox,
Sure.
like OCTS.
Yeah, 'cause it's like octagons, you know?
Octagon. Okay, so like DJ Oct.
Yeah, but it's hard to pronounce, so whatever.
Okay, cool. DJ Oct. I can go with that. All right, sweet. So, in the studio today with DJ Oct. By the way, this is KPGR 88.1 FM, and this is the morning show and all the things you already know. All right. So, I've seen the website. Tell me about Riz Academy.
Riz Academy, to be honest with you, man, I have like native Riz, so I don't know how to pull it off.
You-
But I'm kind of just somebody that notices trends and tries to take advantage of them for like profit, you know, or
Yeah.
like to kind of like further my own life.
Mm.
So I saw it and I was like noticing it's coming up a lot, and I was like, I better take advantage of this while this is a thing.
I
And
like
you know,
it.
game and the concept of like around Riz, you know, like pulling a girl or whatever. That's something that'll never go away. So I feel like it's a business that's able to evolve and just like continually be profitable. But yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying the idea of Riz is able to evolve. So you think that has longevity. Do you think that the actual like word Riz will go away? Because I could see it going both ways. I think personally, I could easily see it being just a word that ends up being just a word that people use for a little bit. But I could also see it actually being something people adopt into like their actual language.
I think it's kind of like if you go like on a generational like stance, I feel like each like generation that you talk to has like different words that they like continue to use, and sometimes you're like, I don't know what that is. So I feel like in regards to like long term, like each new generation being like consistent in vocabulary, that's probably not a realistic future, but something that might stick away in like some use on a fairly consistent level. That's a potential possibility, but as far as it being as much of like a trend word as it is now,
Yeah.
I don't think that'll last forever now.
Okay, interesting. So what I've seen, you've got hoodies, which are dope. The design on those are actually pretty fire. I like that. Oh, you've got one on right now. I did not even see. Is that the what color is that? Because I've seen you actually pointed me towards that same website, which we're actually going to be using for our little hoodie thing. Is that the military green?
Yeah.
That one's dope. I like that. Who got your design?
I did. I just designed it in Procreate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm a very large fan of Procreate. Procreate is a drawing app on the iPad for those of you who don't know.
Yes, sir.
That's dope. Do you draw or sketch or anything?
A little bit, but I'm not very good.
Yeah.
I can draw like straight lines, and that's all it really is. So.
It's dope. I like it's a cool simplistic like design while still being like
Hey, thank you.
it gets
man.
the point across. I like it.
How's Hoodie coming along?
Hoodie, we're getting our first order supposed to be tomorrow, except I got busy, so today. But it's gonna be pretty dope. I don't know. That's one that I think is the more I think about it, the more I feel like we kind of have to tiptoe, as far as like branding wise.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we don't want it to just be we want it to be a very specific like what is the vibe we give off as that brand, and we haven't tended to, we kind of just are going full speed ahead without thinking much about it. So I don't know, we'll see where that one goes, but I'm excited about it. I think it'll be dope to just
Sweet.
see where it ends up going. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it'll be especially funny if we ever come out with any product other than hoodies, because then you actually have to like brand it with a hoodie, and I think that just makes it all even funnier.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be dope. But okay, tell me about you, because we've kind of met. We've just kind of been in the same circle-ish, just kind of like knowing of each other. But like, tell me more about you. What is Caleb? Or sorry, DJ Oct.
Oh, yeah, I
Oct.
get you. I don't know, man. What do you want to know?
All right, hit me with this. What are some rumors that are true about you, and which ones are not? Like, as far as like what people say, because you're like decently popular. A lot of people know of you, at least. You know what I mean? And so, what are some things that people say that are true, and what are there some things that people say that are not true?
This is gonna sound kind of weird, but I am very progress obsessed, and I feel like this is gonna sound, I don't know how to say it. I'm too busy focused on like personal growth that I've
Focus on-
never noticed what they've said.
Okay,
like,
fair
ever.
enough.
Like, and it's like people can bully me all they want, or they can say whatever. It doesn't affect me because it doesn't affect my journey in the long run. What they care, you know. And it's like And it sounds weird. I have no idea what they're saying, so I can't answer that.
Fair
if that
enough.
makes sense.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
probably the best way to actually look at it is just to
Okay.
go like, what are other people saying? Like, not pay attention at all.
Like whatever they're saying,
Yeah.
they can say it. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not. I don't.
Okay.
care.
Well, I'll tell you what I've heard. I've heard that you're loaded. Tell me. What's the story behind that? Because I hear from both sides of people that are skeptical and some people that are like, oh yeah, I've seen it.
Oh yeah, fair enough, man. I think it depends on each person's perspective. For my opinion, I don't think I am. I do not consider myself like loaded at all. But I have enough money that I could have the great potential for growth.
Okay.
And the great potential for that, and that's more than most people our age for sure.
Fair enough.
Significantly more. Like I'm all about enhancing money, and I just like make good money. So it just depends on who they are. But yeah.
How do you make your money? Like
So
it
yeah.
currently?
So currently, here's kind of what I do. I'll tell you, I'm very much so a bad chaser. So I have my job at Quick Quack, which I make about $2,000 to $3,000 per month. So it's not very much money at all. Well, it depends on how many hours I work. I've made more, made less. And then I sell board games. So my brother is a designer for this game called Battlefish.
Dope.
And he offered me like a 50% commission kind of thing to sell these games. And so I just went door to door and sold like 3,000. That makes me like another $3,000, $4,000 a month.
Okay, dope.
And so with Battlefish, I kind of was like, okay, well, he handed me $1 million. I didn't notice it. So I didn't want to just do my brother's name. So I kind of hopped on Kickstarter and I literally typed in like game or whatever. And you can send the designers on there like a thing. So it's like drop shipping board games, but more on a local side of a level. Because I feel like local like products are a lot easier to sell than that crap you get from like Alibaba or whatever.
Sure.
So that's kind of what I did. I just hopped on Kickstarter, typed in like Utah game or whatever, and just reached out to people or went to conventions. Like there's a smaller one is like
Wait. So what are you reaching out on again?
Kickstarter.
Okay, so you're reaching out on Kickstarter, and Kickstarter, are you reaching out to individuals and just asking them if they want the game, or is Kickstarter what people are looking for? I'm not familiar with
sorry.
Kickstarter.
I didn't phrase myself correctly.
Okay.
So Kickstarter is a platform to launch like new ideas or new projects to help fund them for people that are like relatively new to the concept of business in general. Not always. To some even already established businesses run some Kickstarter campaigns or whatever. Just kind of help raise crowdfunding for their idea. Sorry, I kind of assumed that was general knowledge. That's my bad. But anyways, so I'll go a little bit more. I'll answer more clearly now.
Yeah.
So essentially, what I was trying to say was this. I'm not trying to sell the game to people on Kickstarter. I took the concept because my brother started on Kickstarter of selling his games, and I didn't want to just sell his games.
Okay.
So what I did is I hopped on Kickstarter, and I was like, hey, Utah Games. And then I have like, I can read it if you want, but
sure.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go for it.
it's a Utah it's like a script that essentially says this: hey, my name is Caleb Smith. I'm with CAS Manufacturing or Advertising or Marketing or whatever, and that's just like my like initials, just like the basic thing in the world, like CAS Marketing. And here's what I can do. In exchange for a percentage of the profits, I can sell your games. I'm assuming you're relatively new to this as you are on Kickstarter. And then that way you don't spend any money on marketing, you don't lose any money, and I don't make any money unless I sell your game. So either way, it's a win-win situation for both of us
I
here.
see. So you're reaching out to the actual individual sellers.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Taking their games. Are they sending you the actual physical games and you're going door to door selling them?
Yeah, so usually,
Okay, I see.
it's
That's
like, usually I just try to meet with people like around here in Utah. And so I'll like usually meet at like Starbucks in Orem or whatever, and we'll just sit there, sip like my orders of venti lemonade with 4 pints of raspberry, strawberry acai on top.
Nice.
And we'll just sit there sipping, and we'll just like talk through some ideas. Like I have a friend named Sergio that designed this one that's pretty cool.
Sergio that goes here?
No. So
Different
Sergio's like a 25-year-old real estate guy that has this crazy idea about this. It's like a. It's still in progress, but he wanted to talk about it. It's like this weird like. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. You know those robots in Toy Story, like the Box'em, Fightem robots, whatever?
Yeah.
So
Rock'em
kinda
Sock'em
like-
Robots, yeah.
Yes, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's kind of like that, but it's in like kind of like a mixture of Clue and Rock'em Sock'em.
Okay, cool.
Anyway,
it sounds
you'll
interesting.
You'll see it, but he wanted
Yeah.
to talk me through those ideas, just the experience of that. But right now, I'm selling one from Frog Night, which is a Kent Darfield kind of guy, and then Tyler. So I originally had a website, which was Mad Think Games. The Instagram's still up, so you can see kind of the games. But I took down the site simply because I was selling way more just going door to door.
Yeah.
And it's like way more profitable. If that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I like I said, I'm a bad chaser, so I go to Quick Quack and I empty the vacuums every night and just search through change.
Nice.
And I was like absolutely shocked at how much change is in there. Like,
Really? Just from people like vacuuming up the change from
Yeah,
their car?
man.
Okay.
So it started in like December. I can kind of like, I'll show you in a minute. But
Yeah.
it was like raining and we were bored, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what's in the vacuum. So we emptied it out, and it was like $48 in the vacuums and change.
Jeez.
So now it's just like we go every day, and it's like anywhere from like 80 to sometimes like $200. It just depends on how
That's
busy we're that
crazy.
day.
Yeah.
And so like going through that, it's like another couple $1,000s per month.
Yeah.
And then I have like, I don't know, I literally just do whatever. And then
That's
sometimes
crazy.
I buy and sell 3D printers too. Anyway, so it's like
I heard something about that. So did you ever actually do like custom 3D printing or selling 3D printing, or like the actual product that you have 3D printed?
Yeah.
Or is it the actual 3D printers you're selling?
If you're saying currently, I don't do that anymore. But what made me the most money, and this is why I don't consider myself like rich anymore. If I had stayed on that path,
Okay.
I think I probably would have been.
Okay.
Because a couple years ago, so my mom got diagnosed with cancer 2018. And I feel like that was kind of a unique point. Like I was just trying to make her like proud, I guess. So I want to start a business.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a unique point in the 3D printing industry where people didn't realize how cheap it was.
Yeah.
So I kind of just mowed lawns for like a summer, and I bought a Creality Ender 3. I think that was like the year it came out, or something. It's either that or like a freaking Net A8. I don't know. But it was like a really cheap 3D printer.
Yeah.
That was my first one, and I just posted on Facebook. I was like, hey, yo, like anybody need anything printed? And my neighbor, Joe Packer, he reached out, and he's like, hey, man, I run this pottery business, and I need to get like custom stamps to get my logo into the pottery, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like Packer's Pottery. So he just sent me his logo, and then it was like, how do I 3D vitalize this? I found this like website called Selva 3D that you just upload an image, turns it 3D. And so it's like, to me, like literally like probably 20 minutes of work to get it like designed, and then I just printed the thing. It cost me like half a cent. I had no idea 3D printing was that cheap.
Yeah, the actual filament is
it cost
cheap,
nothing. And like at the time, people I feel still thought in general that 3D printers were like thousands of dollars. I got this thing for like a little over 200, and then I printed this thing for like half a cent. And he said like the custom stamps he was getting from his like current manufacturer would cost him like $70.
Yeah. And
I was like, what? And
$70 per, or to
like,
commission like to get the actual custom stamp he was wanting?
I don't know. It just
but either way,
$7 to like just get one. So I printed one that cost me like half a cent, 20 minutes of work. I dropped it off, and he handed me like $50.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
holy cow.
I'm like, holy frick, dude, that's like a million percent like profit return or whatever. So I was like, and then like I said, my brother designs games, which I now sell, but at the time they're still in like kind of the design phase.
Yeah.
So he asked me to like kind of print like little like components for his pieces. So I print like these little voodoo dolls for his voodoo game, and then Battlefish I'd like print like whatever, you know, just like
is that the actual pieces that they play with? So like that's the actual piece that's going to end up going in the game that people play with?
So this is like more like the prototype pieces. They wanted a physical piece that was good to like play with.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to go into manufacturing because 3D printing is just not as smooth unless you do.
It's definitely not as smooth as something
injection molding,
I was
which
about
I
to say
did
injection
get
molding.
into later.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. So I started like printing these little 3D printing little like pieces thing, and he was like, he paid me like $120 or something. And I was like, dang. So then I hopped on this Facebook group that was is like, I think it's called like Board Game Design Lab Community or something. And with Board Game Design Lab Community, I just like posted, I was like, hey, I did these for this individual for this game. If any of you need like prototypes or whatever, that's a lot cheaper than like the one-time manufacturing from China. Because when you order like a prototype game from China or whatever, it's like they have to make the mold, and to make the mold is super expensive. So if you only want one, it's going to cost you like a ton.
Right.
But if you want like a bunch of them, then it's cheap to fill the mold. And so then it's like, it's cheap.
Gets cheaper the more you buy.
Yeah. But if it's just a prototype, you only need one, and you don't want to order like 1,000 and then just have 1,000 games that don't work. And so I was like able to 3D print for like a lot cheaper, and people are happy because they're saving a lot of money. So it's just like a unique point where people didn't realize how cheap my expense was, and they were happy because they were saving money.
Right.
But
Win-win situation. I like it. Yeah.
But now manufacturing's come down a lot. But at the time, I got like a ton of orders, a ton of customers, and it's nice. Ended up owning 15 printers at one time.
And that's all custom. You weren't doing like, here's my product that I 3D print and put together and sell.
Yeah,
it was all just custom stuff that's like.
That never worked for me, especially in like the 3D printing thing. I don't know if that works for some people, but it's like here you're a manufacturer and you don't have an established brand. And it didn't work as well for me. I don't know.
But so if you're doing all custom stuff and you're not doing like large scale manufacturing, why did you need 15 printers?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Because you had so many that were ordering custom things.
Oh, just so many random people that was like filling up each slot. I see.
Like each printer was printing a different project at each time.
Gotcha.
And they take like 15, 16 hours. If I didn't have multiple printers, the wait times would have been like literally like 2 weeks, because it's like if you just have one, then it prints, it takes like 15 hours. That's like a whole day.
Especially if it fails and then suddenly you have to restart.
So like go to sleep.
Yeah. What did you end up? So if people are all getting custom things, are they asking for something custom and you're getting either you're designing it in 3D modeling software yourself or someone else, or are you just finding it on?
So I did either or. I'd charge like $20 an hour if they needed custom work, because that way you could just make good money while you're working on it. And the machines, like, you don't really need to do anything besides press a button.
Right.
But most of the people already had a file. They just didn't have a way to manufacture it, because
Gotcha.
that's what most of the other prototype manufacturers required of it.
Right. They just didn't have the printer, but they had the actual like 3D model. Gotcha.
And
Okay.
that
Cool.
kept printing stamps for my neighbor. That one wasn't as lucrative as like the manufacturing of the board game elements. And then I kind of did a little bit of car parts. Car parts wasn't as much as like
3D printing car parts.
Yeah.
Like what kind of car parts?
So mostly just like buttons that were like super expensive in exotic cars. Because I run a charity car show that raised money for Huntsman Cancer Institute.
Cool.
Just as like my mom had cancer, so I was like trying to help her.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of connections there, and some of them just reached out and they're just like, hey, do you think you could print this button or this grill? So I printed like a grill for Lamborghini Gallardo and like a reverse button. But
that's cool.
That wasn't as much. That did make a ton of money, but it's just also like such a slim market because not very many people have like a Lamborghini.
Yeah, it's a really specific niche of people. Yeah.
So it's like the 2 or 3 prints that I did do in that made good money. But
right, because it's probably for someone who already has a lot of money and is willing to pay a lot more.
Well,
for that
also they're saving a lot more money than to get those things from manufacturers. Because like, I guess brand tax is a real thing. Like they'll charge you more just because you drive that car, and it's like whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. Weepy Boy says, he sent this a while ago. He said, the rumor about me, Weepy Boy Santos, is that I have so much riz, I can't get the ladies off me. Cool, Weepy Boy. Thank you from our leading expert on women. How much ribs does DJ Ott have? Riz. How much riz? Okay, that's a decent question. How much riz do you have? Scale of 1 to 10. Hit us with it.
-5.
You can't go -5. You can't have a company called the Riz Academy and it'd be talking negative riz.
Well, that's why I hire people to riz.
I see. So you're outsourcing the riz. That's all. That's all people that you're hiring in.
Just kidding. It's probably like a 7.
And then Weepy Boy says, making fun of me for saying Thank you, Weepy Boy. You're wonderful. I'm so glad you're listening in. Anyway, so that's cool. And so tell me more about this charity thing you did.
Charity thing?
Yeah.
For my car show?
Yeah, for the car show.
Yeah. So, I guess I don't really know how it started. I just kind of posted on my story one time, and I was like, hey, my mom has cancer. I want to do a show to kind of like raise money to help other people with cancer. And I don't know, I've always been in cars. So I had a fairly large following. It's like Lamborghini SLC on Instagram. But anyway, a bunch of people reached out, and it was, I hate to say that it's easy, but it's probably like the easiest thing I ever started. Cause so many people were like down to help a good cause. First show we didn't do much. We did like $700 raised, but $700 raised at like, what year is it? 2023. I was like 14, 15.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. And then we've run 1 or 2 every year since, and now we've raised several thousand. So.
And like, what is it? Does everyone just bring their cars all together and people go around and talk to each other about their expensive cars kind of deal?
It's just a car show. So it's just cars pull up, and just whoever wants to come comes, and it's just like mostly exotic cars or whatever. And then the last 2 we've hosted like a raffle just with like sponsor donated items. So we gave away like a discount tire, like set of tires, and then like we had these little like Pirelli RC cars that Pirelli donated, and that was pretty cool. And then we just like do a raffle, and then all the money just gets donated to Huntsman Cancer, or they provide these things called dip jars. So they just go with that. So I don't really know. It's like cars just pull up, people pull up. It's a community. You can talk about your cars.
That's
you can
dope.
Just go through, look around. That's Cars and Charity Utah on Instagram.
Yeah, that's cool. So interesting. And that one's a charity. So what are you doing? You said right now you obviously have the 3D printing thing. You have the.
I don't have the 3D printing thing.
Right, you had that. You had that. That was originally.
Yes, sir.
What ended up? Why did you decide to stop doing that?
Well, it was during one of the, I feel like the most stressful times of my life. You know, at like 13, 14 years old, whatever, my mom having stage 4 colon cancer. Like that's a very, very aggressive cancer, and I think it is very, very hard. And I think honestly, just my mental state kind of developed where it's like, I'm going to lose her. Like I'm scared. Like I feel like she's gonna die. She didn't die, by the way, but I was like terrified that she was going to. And so I feel like just in my very, very unhealthy mindset, I kind of developed this idea that if I like stopped loving her, then it wouldn't hurt when she died. And so as a result, I just kind of turned to worldly things like money, and I started grinding even harder as kind of a distraction from life. And I feel like once she healed and developed, and I started to like try to fix my mindset and start to like love my family. My family is the most important thing. Like Jesus Christ and like God. Sorry, not to like be religious or whatever. You know, it's like I was saying like those things are the most important things to me. And I feel like it just got to the point where the business was kind of a reminder for how evil I once was, or
Okay.
how much I like didn't love them, and it was just so much work. I needed to stop the grind to focus on the things that are most important out of life.
Mm.
I still needed to grind, but
Yeah.
I just wanted a different grind because it made me feel so guilty, and it wasn't
Yeah.
helping me recover from like depression and stuff. Because it's just like I was acknowledgement of all the bad days that I had spent while doing that, and it's hard to like not get personal and talk about that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of really bad thoughts, really
Yeah.
close calls, and like really sad nights were spent just staring at a 3D printer.
Mm.
And it got to the point where literally I don't really like 3D printers anymore. I know it sounds weird. Like, I know a lot about them, and I think they're the coolest thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
No, but I get it. It's
But it's
connected
like-
to emotions that you don't want
It's
to.
like
Yeah.
connected to emotions that I don't want to feel.
Yeah.
When I was weak, when
Yeah.
I was depressed, when I was struggling and going through a hard time.
Well, it's crazy that you figured out all this like already. You've already gone through, I feel like, a stage that most people might not ever get to, where you've had that kind of success and then realized that that kind of success is not necessarily what actually makes you happy. And so you've moved on from that, which I think is really cool. What, so you ended that, and where did you go from there? You obviously work at Quick Quack now. What other, and Riz Academy is obviously a thing you're starting now. Is
Yeah.
that your two main,
Yeah.
just
so
kind of
that-
things you're doing right now?
Well, yeah, where I went from there, I ended that in May 2021
Mm.
or so, like probably around there. And then I just kind of lived through the summer, ran a couple charity car shows,
Mm.
and then I launched Pamingo. Well, I gave away all those pineapples, you know. I kind of like
Tell me about this whole thing, because I keep hearing about this, and I'm like, some kid gave out what? What's that? What? Because apparently I just either wasn't there or whatever. But tell me about the freaking pineapples, dude.
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess like I ended the company, or started to take the steps to end it.
Mm.
It was like it didn't fully until May 2021. But
Mm.
anyway, I had all this like money, and I was like, what the frick do I want to do with this? And I feel like my dream job's kind of like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to say this. I sound like a douchebag. I know it sounds weird, but I just didn't really want like the credit, I guess.
Okay. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And so like I filmed it because I wanted people to like see it or whatever, and I wanted to be able to like do it. So at first I did, but then I posted it and I just didn't like it, and I was like, I don't know why I don't like this. I just want to do it.
Mm.
If that kind of makes sense. So I gave away like 20. The first time I did it was like 20, and I did it like 2 weeks later. Gave away like 300,
Yeah.
and then I was just spending kind of like a lot of money on that. Like the first couple ones I got from Macy's. Don't buy pineapples at Macy's. It's like $1.69 a pound rather than like $1.98 for one. And they weigh like 5-6 pounds. It costs you like $7 a pineapple. So it was literally like thousands of dollars on stupid pineapples. Like
Yeah.
the first time I did it.
Yeah.
And then I did it 4 or 5 times. Each time, like all the pineapples that Walmart would let me buy, I'd like just grab all of them and be like, do you got any in the back? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd grab like
Jeez.
crates of them.
And then what? You just gave them away at school, or?
Yeah, so either school or if people like really wanted one, they'd text me and I'd pull up to their house and be like, here you go, here's a pineapple. But yeah, mostly just at school. I just show up with Brother Vest when he taught here. I just pull up and I just like throw bins filled with pineapples in his classroom, and then just throughout the day just grab a couple. And
That's
just, like,
awesome.
give 'em away, or like whoever wanted one just run in there and grab them. And I gave them away pretty fast. But yeah, I just did it for fun, and I tried to just have a good time. I was really crazy though. Shouldn't have done it. I think.
Shouldn't have done it.
Well, I think it just creates. Well, I shouldn't have done it the way I did it.
Okay.
Because I was too much the face of the idea, and I think when you're doing that, it draws too much attention to you and leads you to harder questions than you'd want to answer, and then people just like drill you, and then they know too much about your life.
I see.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people are like, how are you affording this? How are you affording this? And then that's where like rumors spread and people treat you differently.
Yeah.
When they think that. And I know it sounds weird, like sure, whatever. Like I love my friends though, and I love like everybody, but I think I kind of regret doing it. Also, because I just did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just regret doing it.
Okay. That's funny. I mean, it is funny because I don't think anybody else like ever that has talked about it has been like, oh dang, that that guy that brings around pineapple, like that. Nobody talks about it in a negative light. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
From what I've heard, just all the time, it's like, oh yeah, that dude just brought in pineapples once and it was awesome. It was whatever, and I got a pineapple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was cool.
I feel like they liked it. I don't know.
Just personally, it wasn't worth it in the end for you. You're saying?
Well, no, it is absolutely worth it. I know. I'm not like trying to backtrack. I feel like
worth it isn't the right word for it. You're just saying like the effect it had afterwards.
It was half
like,
and half. There's
Yeah.
some of it that I was like, I think just indirectly it led people to know too much that I didn't want them to know, if that makes sense.
Okay, I get that 100%. Okay, cool. Interesting. So I've seen you, I don't know if it was the way we met, but we've obviously met at the gym.
Yeah.
You've got into that recently. Tell me a little bit about that, because I thought you showed me your transformation pictures. Those were crazy, dude.
Yeah, dude. So I feel like my entire life I've kind of just been like a super fat kid.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
I can relate to that very hardcore. Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
No, like, Dallin showed me yours a little bit.
Oh yeah. I had one over the summer where I was like, it was from doing a thing called 75 hard, and I didn't change a
I'm
ton.
doing that right now, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dope. So yeah, I did that. And you obviously know it's a lot more mental than it is physical.
Yeah, it
Right.
always has been.
Yeah. And so that transformation pick wasn't actually crazy because I already been going to the gym for a few years.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
been dieting for a few years. So it wasn't like crazy, but it was definitely like there's a difference. There were some other ones of just like before I had really gone to the gym, hardly ever. They were some unflattering photos, but yeah. No, so I definitely relate to that
Sweet, dude.
hardcore.
Yeah, so I was just like fat my whole life, and then I feel like 10th grade, I became friends with the right people again. Like I kind of hung out with the wrong people, and I just stopped looking for excuses and started looking for progress. And I found it in every area of my life, and one of those areas was the gym. I'd always just kind of been like, oh, I'm okay to be this way because the rest of my life is great or whatever.
Sure.
But then I realized that to not progress myself physically
Yeah.
and only progress myself in other areas is to literally go against everything I believe in, because I didn't want to be fat. It's just something I kind of accepted that I couldn't change, and that's not the reality of it at all.
Yeah.
So I started hitting the gym. I was 285 pounds.
Yeah.
I like stood on the scale and I looked down and it like would creak, you know, like or
Yeah.
you'd walk down the stairs and they'd make noise
And
and
it
be
would,
like,
yeah.
and it was like so bad. 285. Right now I'm sitting at like 201, 202. It just depends on how much I eat.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I went to Idaho over the weekend. I was 142 when I left, and I was 150 when I got back. I was like, geez, that was like 3 days.
Yeah.
Not good. But we're getting back to
Yes,
to
sir.
baseline now. But anyway, Frog asked, "What is 75 hard?" Is there a way? Oh, we've got 5 minutes. We can explain this real quick. You would probably know them better than I would remember the actual steps. It's basically a 75-day
Day
challenge.
Drink a gallon of water.
Yeah,
Follow a diet. Read 10 minutes per day.
10
Four-
pages per day.
Oh, 10 pages?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Whatever. That's
Switch it.
about how
Doesn't
fast
matter.
I read.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then 45-minute outdoor, 45-minute indoor, adjusted to whatever you want it to be.
Workouts.
Workout.
45-minute workout.
Sorry.
No, yeah. Okay. 45-minute workout, indoor, outdoor. Started by Andy Frisella. Anyway, cool thing. Check it out if you're interested. But yeah, no.
It's a great thing.
Yeah. What are you on right now?
Day 19.
Okay, dope. So you're actually like starting to get into the thick of it. Have you ever tried it before?
Yeah, we tried it last year with just my friend group, and we had like a group chat, but I feel like we all kind of just like died after
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. Well, not died, just kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
We still were progressing, but not like following it as strict.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and progress pictures. We forgot progress pictures too. But
Okay, yeah. Have you listened to the podcast?
is it good?
It's I would recommend listening to the podcast before even starting, because you just get a whole better idea of what the idea of it is and why you're doing the things you're doing.
And you like develop the right mindset before getting into
Yeah,
it.
well, and you realize, because after a while, you'll tend to realize, oh, a gallon of water is sometimes more than you actually need depending on your size. I know for me, being a smaller dude, I didn't actually technically need a gallon of water, so I'm like, okay, so why am I drinking a gallon of water?
So you like adjust it to your needs. Yeah.
Well, no. The whole point that they talk about in the podcast is the reason you're not adjusting it to your needs is you're kind of doing something that might not be what's most like productive, simply for the sake of doing it, and that's what gives you the mindset.
oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, okay, this actually isn't technically whatever. You don't actually technically need to have
It helps you like
two
develop
separate
the
workouts.
discipline to do what you need to do.
Exactly.
Rather than like
Even if you don't necessarily see like that the value is there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is kind of the idea. But I would definitely recommend listening to the podcast.
fire, dude.
Speaking of podcasts, you are saying you're starting them for the Riz Academy.
Yeah.
What's that going to look like?
So, I feel like Riz is short for charisma, and when I kind of think about that sort of thing, or just like in general,
Well,
I
that's
just-
already blowing my mind. I did not even know that's where that came from, but cool.
well,
Good to
that's
know.
what Google says.
All
so-
right, fair enough. I'll take it. Charisma. All right.
Yeah. So when I just think about it, I'm like, well, not just charisma, but just Riz in general. I feel like the way to like increase that is to increase confidence and like just like who you are as an individual, just really progress your life. If you're more confident in who you are and more happy with who you are, then you'll be more comfortable in those situations where you need to Riz.
Yeah.
So the podcasts aren't necessarily talking about your goals to pull women. No, that's not what it is.
Sure.
It's more about just progress based and just really like becoming the best you. Like our thing for this is, I'll show you.
Somebody said where in Idaho. I don't know. Oh, it's Upper Idaho vacation. We've Upper and grandparents have property called near a place called Kuski that nobody knows about because nobody knows small towns in Idaho. Anyway.
Yeah. Here it is. So it's our mission at Riz is to help build confidence through style boosting and encouraging the pursuit of a better self.
Okay.
So the podcasts are kind of just like the part that's encouraging the pursuit of a better self. So today, my brother's coming over, and my brother is like a genius. Not the one that does the games, just another one that is very progress, similar to me, very just a genius.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to talk, and we're going to film our first episode today.
Okay, sick.
Then it's going to take a couple days to edit, and then we're going to launch it pretty soon.
That's dope. Where's it going to be on?
So we just put on our story. I just put on my story like the weird like send it anonymous questions or whatever. And they just replied some. So it's like a variety of things from overcoming. So we're doing one on overcoming porn because both of us had struggles in that. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about just like building a trusting relationship with yourself. And then trusting your words. Like the goal I think for everybody is to build your mindset to the point where it's like developed enough that you never have to hesitate. You trust every word that comes out of your mouth. And if you can trust yourself 100% to always accurately reflect the way that you want to be perceived, then that is like a superpower. And so we're going to like kind of talk about how we developed ourselves into that point.
Cool.
And it'll just be a short little quick episode on like developing your mindset really and just overcoming your struggles and becoming who you need to be. Not who you want to be, who you need to be.
That's cool. That's cool. And I'm assuming Spotify, maybe YouTube. Are you filming it or is it just an audio only?
We're doing both.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So probably available on YouTube,
and then
Spotify.
You'll see clips on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay,
same
yeah.
Username, but yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. I do need to get to construction, so I'll have to end the show there. Thank you for coming on.
Dude,
this was a dope episode.
Hey man, thank you.
Yeah, this has been great. We'll just read the final whatever people are texting in. Somebody said, "Where can I find these podcasts?" What's the name of it again?
Yeah, so the handle on Instagram is Academy of Riz, and then the website is therizacademy.com.
Okay, so that is where they are available. And
well, not yet, but they will be.
They will be. Go anyway.
Yeah.
Somebody said, and then Weepy Boy said, "I perceive myself as a patron saint of KPGR radio station." You absolutely are, as our most consistent listener. You absolutely are. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been the morning show on KPGR 88.1 FM, and up next we have "Level of Concern" by 21 Pilots.